Very good afternoon. This is the midday news on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the news with the headlines. ASEAN, a key element of India's Act East policies, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi while leaving for 3-day Thailand tour to participate in ASEAN India, East Asia and RCEP summits to address Indian diaspora in Bangkok this evening. Rajnath Singh calls for a collective fight against terrorism at the SCO meet in Tashkent, says strengthening and implementing existing international laws and mechanisms only way to fight the scourge of terrorism. Digital technology helping in curbing corruption, improving governance, says Vice President Naidu in his address at NIT Mangalore. Says India set to earn its place amongst the technology giants of the world in the years to come. Superstar Rajnikanth to be awarded with Special Icon Award, announces Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar. 50th International Film Festival of India to also honour French actor Isabelle Huppert with Lifetime Achievement Award. And the 4-day festival of Chhath being celebrated in Bihar and other states. Devotees to congregate in large numbers to offer prayers to the sun this evening. President, Vice President extend their wishes. The top story this afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has begun his 3-day Thailand visit, and during the visit he will participate in the 16th India-ASEAN Summit, the 3rd RCEP Summit and the 14th East Asia Summit. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is accompanying the Prime Minister. In his first engagement after arriving in Bangkok this evening, Prime Minister Modi will address the Indian community at the National Indoor Stadium. And during the event, Prime Minister Modi will release the commemorative coin marking the 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev and also the Thai translation of a Tamil classic. And tomorrow, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the India-ASEAN Summit, strengthening ASEAN and ASEAN-led mechanism, enhanced connectivity, deepening economic partnership, enhancing cooperation in the digital domain, including cyber security, is the key focus. And on the last day of his visit on Monday, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the East Asia Summit and the RCEP Summit. He will also hold several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summits. And in a statement before his departure, the Prime Minister said that during the visit, he will also hold bilateral meetings with a number of other world leaders present at Bangkok for related summit meetings. He added that India's partnership with ASEAN is built around the key pillars of connectivity, capacity building, commerce and culture. And in an interview to Bangkok Post ahead of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that a rapidly growing democratic and strong India continues to be a beacon of stability, prosperity and peace in the times of global uncertainties. Prime Minister Modi asserted that the 21st century will be Asia's century and India is prepared to contribute to this transformation in Asia and the world. He further said that India is one of the largest contributors to global economic growth and development, including its contribution towards issues like climate change, space technology, and fight against terrorism. Prime Minister Modi said that India remains a strong advocate of strengthening and reforming multilateralism. And in the interview, he also said that India has moved up about 80 places in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. He said that India is seeking to build international partnerships to combat global and transboundary challenges. He asserted that ASEAN is at the core of India's Act East policy. All right, let's get a perspective. Our colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from the newsroom. Very good afternoon, Akhilesh. Prime Minister Modi is asserting that ASEAN is the core of India's Act East policy, and that is how he is witnessing his the visit to Thailand. Tell us about how important this visit is going to be. He's going to not only address the Indian diaspora, but also participate in several summits in Thailand. How do you look at this visit?
This visit is very important because ASEAN is in the core of Act Asia policy, Prime Minister has said. Other than that, India is also becoming very active in Indo-Pacific region. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi had articulated his vision about Indo-Pacific. And he always told that, the whole resolution of any conflict, ASEAN should be in the center of it. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi wanted to give importance to ASEAN among all regional countries, including China, Australia, New Zealand, and even for America. So no one country should think that, ASEAN or the whole region is its monopoly. So that is the core thing, that this is a position, diplomatic position India has taken. And that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi always go and visit ASEAN countries. And you remember that ASEAN, all ASEAN leaders had come in Republic Day celebration also in India. So in that way, ASEAN is important for us diplomatically, culturally, and also economically. ASEAN is becoming important for us because, ASEAN is also one of the roots of investment in many countries, including India. And that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his interview showcased about India's feasibility as far as investment destination can be concerned. So one of the major things that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will stress there in ASEAN summit, East Asia summit, and also in RCEP, that India should be a likely and like destination for investment. Other than that, the RCEP is also going to become very important at this occasion because it may be the final summit for RCEP. India also has some objections regarding the farm sector. India has some certain reservations about the country of origin of manufactured product, and India also have a point of view on the pharmaceutical products. So in that way, it will be very interesting to see that how India puts its position and how countries concerned agree to it. That America has already left RCEP negotiations in the beginning, but China is there, Japan is there, many other countries are there, and all ASEAN countries are there. So I think this is going to be very important visit of Prime Minister, both strategically and also economically, Aishwarya.
Absolutely. And the Prime Minister is also going to hold several bilaterals on the sidelines of the summit that are also going to be very, very important. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there. And on to some other news now. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that a collective fight against terrorism is very, very important. And addressing the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tashkent, Uzbekistan today, Rajnath Singh said that terrorism continues to disrupt societies and undermine development endeavors. He said that it is important for SCO countries to come together to deal with this menace. He also said that the only way to fight the scourge of terrorism is to strengthen and implement all the existing international laws and mechanisms. And he also said that the SCO must set the example of successfully beneficial cooperation. He assured that India is committed to providing and enabling economic ecosystem for partner countries to do business and also invest in India. Rajnath Singh is participating in the meeting of Council of Heads of Governments of Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Tashkent. And on the sidelines of the summit, Rajnath Singh met with Afghanistan's Chief Executive, Dr. Abdullah Abdullah. The two leaders discussed issues of mutual importance. And Rajnath Singh will also meet with the Uzbek Minister of Defense to discuss issues of bilateral defense cooperation. On to some other news now. A parliamentary delegation led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla will leave for Tokyo today. This delegation will take part in the 6th Parliamentary Speaker Summit of the G20 countries that will be held in Tokyo in Japan from 3rd to 5th of November. The summit will focus on several issues including trade, technology and sustainable development. On a two-day visit to India, German Chancellor Angela Merkel pledged to invest €1 billion over the next 5 years on environment-friendly urban mobility in India. Speaking at the business event in Delhi, Angela Merkel emphasized on the need to replace the diesel-run public transport with electric vehicles. Germany would also put in $200 million to reform the bus sector in Tamil Nadu. India and Germany on Friday agreed to enhance their engagement on strategic and economic relations to create a perfect multipolar world. At a summit-level meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Merkel, the two sides charted out a roadmap of long-term relations in multiple sectors.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel took part in the India-Germany intergovernmental consultation along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on Friday. After this biennial summit-level meeting, both countries signed 22 agreements and MOUs, keeping in mind both long-term and short-term priorities. The agreements range from foreign policy consultation to strategic infrastructure projects. Other fields include railways, green transport, artificial intelligence, startups, football and employment opportunities in Germany for Indians.
सन 2022 में स्वतंत्र भारत 75 वर्ष का होगा। तब तक हमने न्यू इंडिया के निर्माण का लक्ष्य रखा है। इस बहुआयामी प्रयास में भारत की प्राथमिकताओं और आवश्यकताओं के लिए जर्मनी जैसे टेक्नोलॉजिकल और इकोनॉमिक पावर हाउस की क्षमताएं उपयोगी होगी। इसलिए हमने न्यू एंड एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, स्किल्स, एजुकेशन, साइबर सिक्योरिटी जैसे क्षेत्रों में सहयोग बढ़ाने पर विशेष बल दिया है।
Both leaders also talked about strategies to combat terrorism in all its forms, including cyber terrorism. Both nations also decided on cooperation on both bilateral as well as multilateral fora.
आतंकवाद और उग्रवाद जैसे खतरों से निपटने के लिए हम बायलैटरल और मल्टीलैटरल सहयोग को और घनिष्ठ बनाएंगे। एक्सपोर्ट कंट्रोल रेजिम्स और विभिन्न अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंचों में भारत की सदस्यता को जर्मनी के सशक्त समर्थन के लिए हम जर्मनी के आभारी हैं।
Modi and Merkel also discussed measures to increase economic and trade relations, including increasing investment in priority areas.
India has a huge potential here, especially when it comes to digitalization. But the development is very fast. Also, when it comes to 5G and AI, it's a challenge. And if we work together, this would be a wonderful way of cooperation. It's also about trade, innovation, investment and knowledge. It's a big part of our cooperation. We will be happy to engage in big infrastructure projects that you are envisaging and that you are developing further. In terms of sustainable development and climate protection, we intend to work together very closely. There are many areas, both in environmental areas like waste management, pure water, and also climate issues.
The German Chancellor was also accorded a warm welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. She also paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. She termed the unification of East and West Germany on the lines of Gandhian thought. She also met President Rajnath Singh in the evening. On Saturday, she will meet important leaders of business houses in Delhi.
Germany can be a very important partner in achieving the goal of New India. Germany has technology, Germany has investment capacity and India has a big opportunity for every type of investments. It is up to us that how we utilize this opportunity. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Suresh in Delhi.
In midday news, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said and he has expressed concern of poor global ranking of Indian institutions. Delivering a convocation address at NIT Karnataka, he urged the private sector to create a corpus fund under CSR activities to fund research projects that have societal benefits. The Vice President called upon universities and higher educational institutions to come up with a vision document to achieve highest academic standards in the next 5 to 10 years. He said that there is a need to introduce more effective teaching, learning approaches like the project-based learning to impart skills of teamwork, leadership, and out-of-the-box thinking, as well as teach entrepreneurial education in technical institutions. He also stressed that students must be provided opportunities to develop a social and emotional skills along with cognitive skills.
Education must create the right ecosystem for innovation and creativity to thrive. Innovation, inventions and discoveries must be the buzzwords on the campuses of our NITs, IITs and universities. India will earn its place amongst the technology giants in the world through education and innovation. Indeed, education will be the key factor in transforming India into an academic superpower. My dear sisters and brothers and youngsters, education is the foundation for the progress of humanity. Education is not only mere for employment, as I told you, it is meant to empower, impart wisdom and knowledge and develop a holistic individual with the qualities of head and heart. See no evil. My advice to youngsters, see no evil, but see what is good.
And on to some other news now. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin has said that the U.S. is working with its allies to ensure adequate oil supply is there in the market after its sanctions barred nations from buying oil from Iran. Now, speaking at a joint press conference with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman following the conclusion of the 7th India-US Economic and Financial Partnership meeting, Mnuchin added that Washington is aware of India's tremendous energy needs and looks forward to working with India on the liquefied natural gas and expanding their capabilities on the same. And during the meeting, India and the US also discussed policies to stimulate economic growth and reaffirmed their commitment to greater economic cooperation on global economic issues.
We've been working with our allies to make sure that there is significant supply in the market of oil to offset the sanctions. I just came from the Middle East and was in Saudi Arabia where I met with the energy minister and others, and I think they and others have done a very good job. We look forward to working with India on LNG and expanding their capabilities, but we had productive discussions.
From our side, we did explain the Indian position, particularly the need for us to maintain land-based access to Afghanistan, particularly, therefore, the need for us to have the Chabahar link and through Chabahar, the rail link with which we are able to reach out to Afghanistan, and also recently how successfully Afghanistan was able to export 700 tons of quite large quantity of the agricultural produce using this access to seaport. also for strategic and other reasons, it was important for us to continue with that, and that, to my understanding, is well heard and taken cognizance of by the American side. So we've explained the need for us to have to maintain our links through Chabahar for Afghanistan's sake, considering the extent of our commitment for developing the social and other infrastructure in Afghanistan. Also in the context of Pakistan continuously denying us access through land route.
And a day after a public health emergency was declared in the Delhi NCR region, the air quality and pollution levels in the Delhi NCR dropped marginally today with a slight increase in the wind speed. Now, weather experts said that there is a significant improvement in wind speed and it will increase gradually. According to official data, the city's overall air quality index stood at 407 at 10 a.m. Remember, it was 484 at 4 p.m. on Friday. The Delhi government has issued notification for the odd-even scheme, which will be implemented from Monday and will continue till the 15th of this month. And as the air quality and the pollution levels in the region entered the severe plus category on Friday, the Environment Pollution Authority also banned construction activity till 5th of November and also bursting of crackers during the entire winter season. And the Delhi government also decided to shut all the schools till 5th of November. Let's get you some sports news now. Indian women's hockey team took a giant leap towards Olympic qualification by registering a near flawless performance to hammer USA 5-1 in the first leg of the two-match qualifier in Bhubaneswar on Friday. India scored 4 goals in 11 minutes after halftime to kill the tie as Gurjeet Kaur scored a brace. Now the team with the highest number of goals over the two matches will qualify for the Olympics. And in the men's hockey, India beat Russia 4-2 in the first leg of Tokyo Olympic qualifiers. Mandeep Singh's brace and goals from Harmanpreet Singh and Sunil steered India to a comfortable victory over Russia in Friday's match. Indian men and women's teams will play their respective second leg matches against the same opponents today. And the winners at the end of the two-match qualifiers will seal their places in the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. And the festival of Chhath is being celebrated with religious fervour and gaiety. On the third day of the festival today, devotees will offer Sandhya Arghya to the setting sun. And President Rajnath Singh greeted the people on this eve. In a tweet, he said that Chhath is an occasion to express the devotion to Sun God, Mother Earth and rivers. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also extended greetings to the people on the occasion. Superstar Rajnikanth will be awarded with a special icon of Golden Jubilee Award at the 50th International Film Festival of India. The festival will be held in Goa later this month with close to 250 films from various countries to be screened at the premiere movie extravaganza. And in the Golden Jubilee year, the festival will screen 50 films by 50 female filmmakers to acknowledge their contribution in cinema. And French actor Isabelle Huppert will be awarded with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.
What are some key legislations introduced in Rajya Sabha?